Well, guys, we're going to be talking about Bud Light here in this video because we got some interesting news, guys. Now, I'm not an expert on many things. I'm not, but also I'm not stupid. The topic of this story here, of this video, I predicted this. I predicted this about the woke marketing executives over there at Bud Light. Remember the two people behind the whole Dylan Mulvaney thing? It's got to be the worst marketing move in the history of marketing because Bud Light has been suffering for going on 3 months now, and there seems to be no recovery whatsoever. Bud Light did it to themselves. Guys, companies got to be very, very careful about who they actually hire. You know, that's why you have to go through an interview process. I remember when I first got my first oil and gas job, it took me roughly, I would say 2 months to actually get the job. I actually went into an interview, and that interview lasted like 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours. I was in there interviewing with so many people. And then I didn't actually hear back from them. And then all of a sudden, about 2 months later, I got another email saying, hey, want to bring you back in. There was somebody that you did not meet with. And so I came in, interviewed with them on I believe a Friday. And on Monday, they told me, hey, you got the job. But it's pretty clear I didn't make it through the first round of interviews because the company was very careful about who they actually hired. I didn't make the first cut, but eventually I got in. I don't know the hiring process over there at Bud Light. I mean, you should not be hiring woke activists. Woke activists will ruin your company. And it doesn't have to be beer. You know, it could be entertainment too. Look what's going on with Lucasfilm, Star Wars, Indiana Jones. They're losing billions of dollars. I mean, Disney is a woke company. But let's bring the focus back to Anheuser-Busch here. Because we found out months ago that there were actually 2 marketing executives that were, quote, put on leave. And when they were put on leave, man, Bud Light was catching a bunch of heat. And the heat is still on Bud Light. The sales are still dropping. Now, maybe initially they were hoping that they would just put these marketing executives on leave and hopefully, you know, the whole boycott thing would just blow over. Didn't happen. The boycott is stronger than ever now because now the sales numbers, Bud Light is down like 28.5%. The worst it's been since the whole Dylan Mulvaney backlash. And I said it, guys, when they said that they put these people on leave, I truly did believe they were fired. Well, let's have a look here, guys. Check this out on Outkick. Anheuser-Busch executives responsible for Bud Light disaster are gone. Not a surprise to me because I predicted this. I guess you can call me Nostradamus or something. You know, I'm not Nostradamus, but my prediction was right. I said you would not see these people again. I was right. Yes, I am patting myself on the back here. It says here, the Anheuser-Busch executives responsible for the Bud Light disaster reportedly are no longer with the company. And I believe, guys, they were gone a long time ago, but we just found it out now because the sales keep tanking. Group Vice President for Marketing, Daniel Blake, and Bud Light Marketing Vice President, Alyssa Heinerscheid, are no longer with AB for their roles in the Dylan Mulvaney debacle, according to texts obtained from a regional head of marketing by the Daily Caller's most prominent journalist, Henry Rogers. Now, I saw the video clip of Alyssa Heinerscheid, and I knew right off the bat she was woke because she wanted to rebrand the image of the company. She wanted to, I guess you can say she didn't want men anymore. Okay? Even though Dylan Mulvaney is a biological man, but you guys get the point. She said she wanted to change the frat boy image. And the company got woke, got a lot of backlash, and they said, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. But it did happen. Then they try to go out there, and Budweiser brings back the Clydesdale horses, and they got roasted. every tweet they put out now, every video they put up, it gets ratioed. They're getting destroyed still, guys. People have not forgotten. There is no good signs of a recovery for Bud Light. It's just not there. People have abandoned Bud Light, and it will continue. Now we're entering 4th of July. Not looking good, guys. It is not looking good. I mean, Bud Light, they're giving out free beer. They're giving out rebates. They're not even making money on a lot of beer. I mean, guys, they have to give away beer so they can move it out because it's expiring. It's that bad because it actually costs them money to actually throw out the beer. So they say, hey, let's just give it away. It's that bad. And you know what? These two people here are responsible for a whole bunch of people that work on commissions from the distributors. They're losing $2,000-$3,000 a month on average in commissions. That is a lot of money. Why? Because these marketing executives wanted to get woke, and they're costing hardworking Americans money. It's not the fault of the distributors. It is the fault of Anheuser-Busch and Bud Light. Well, it says here on Outkick, the text described the pair as gone, close quote, and noted, quote, to my understanding, if we publicly announce the word fire, it opens up the potential for them to sue us. That's why we said leave of absence. I was right about that. Leave of absence was nothing more than a public statement. These people were fired. They just confirmed that. They were fired without actually using those words. You guys always notice how these companies, they say that so-and-so is no longer with the company. They never use the word fired. They never do. Like Fox News, when it comes to Tucker Carlson, Tucker is still getting paid by Fox. He's still on the payroll, but we know he's fired. His contract is up in January of 2025. Yeah, he's fired. Tucker's fired. They're not saying that. And this happens all the time out there with these companies. Oh, we want to thank so-and-so for their time here. Kind of like Rian Johnson, when it comes to this Star Wars trilogy. We know that Rian Johnson was actually fired from Star Wars. There would be no trilogy after The Last Jedi. But of course, they're saying, oh, Rian Johnson, he just can't find time. No, Rian Johnson was fired. Let's continue on here. It was previously announced the two were simply taking a leave from the company. It now looks like that wasn't really the case, and the pair has permanently split. The source also told Rogers, quote, wholesalers were told they were both gone for good by leadership during in-person conversations. Man, they already shifted all their direct reports to new people and the head of marketing, close quote. Unfortunately for Blake, it appears he might have been caught in a crossfire that ultimately cost him his job. Now, quote, to be fair, Daniel Blake was actually awesome. I think he was just caught in a crossfire, but also he did hire her, so that's a fault, the unnamed source informed Rogers. Now, yeah, think about Daniel Blake is I believe he was actually the boss of Alyssa Heinerscheid. Remember, she was the one out there actually on video, but he did hire her, and I believe that was her boss. So he's out of there. You got to be careful on who you actually hire because it could cost your job. In this case, yep, out of there. He hired a woke person. He's probably woke himself, because if I'm interviewing somebody, if I talk to somebody, kind of get an idea what they're about, you can easily tell if they're woke or not. So he had to know, unless she had this magical change, over time. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure how long she was actually at Bud Light. But man, she cost him his job. It happened. And you know who's next? I believe, guys, that the CEO of Anheuser-Busch, I believe his job is on the line. I truly do believe that. His job is on the line. Also, the person that's actually in charge of Bud Light, both of those guys' jobs on the line because sales are just down and they're not recovering. Eventually, the CEO is going to pay the price. The CEO of Anheuser-Busch and also who's ever in charge of Bud Light. Eventually, shareholders are going to be outraged. I don't know why anybody's actually holding on to Anheuser-Busch stock at this point because it's not going up. It keeps declining. It's not getting better. And I know that over there on Wall Street, they actually put it as a whole. At this point, don't listen to me. I'm not an expert. I would have dumped that thing already. I would have dumped it. It's not getting better. This company is done. Done. All because of the acts of wokeness. You get woke, you will go broke, and then you will lose your job on top of that. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and White Network fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you next time.